Hello friends, I know it's been a while since you've seen me. I had a little bit of an accident on a stepladder and been really sore. I'm fine, just a few bruises but I'm fine. Just took a few days to heal up. But anyway, many of us have been following the grand jury investigation in Pennsylvania into Jehovah's Witnesses. And Watchtower hates to see news about this because their public information department has to go into overdrive trying to basically shut down the truth, change their history and all of that. Because we all know they've been hiding it for years. There's CSA issues. And I don't care what they say, the elders do not report all of the CSA. Many cases, many cases, in fact most cases. And in Australia, the Australian Royal Commission found out that not one single one of those cases had been reported to the authorities. Well, we've got an article. I'm going to thank John for sending me the link to this. Sorry for the noise, the dogs are in here, it's getting ready to storm and they don't like it outside when it's going to storm. Westmoreland County man allegedly abused two children. Charges result from grand jury investigation of Jehovah's Witnesses congregation members. This is dated July 9th, 2025, which is today. Harrisburg Attorney General Dave Sunday announced that a Westmoreland County man is charged with CSA two children between 1989 and 1997. The charges are the result of a presentment from the 52nd statewide investigating grand jury, the latest panel to hear testimony of alleged abuse by members of Jehovah's Witness congregations in Pennsylvania. Timothy Willowshell, 54, is charged with numerous counts of aggravated indecent assault, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, corruption of minors, and related offenses. He was arraigned Wednesday afternoon with bail set at $170,000. He is to have no contact with minors. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for July 21st. Willowshell is the 17th member of the Jehovah's Witnesses charged by the Office of Attorney General following grand jury presentments since 2022. So he's the 17th JW to be arrested and charged with CSA. This defendant preyed on two children, waiting for opportunities to assault them when they were alone and at their most vulnerable. Attorney General Sunday said, "I commend the victims for their bravery in coming forward and applaud grand jurors who continue to diligently hear testimony as part of a comprehensive investigation of criminal conduct involving members of the Jehovah's Witness community." See? Criminal conduct. This isn't a sin. This is a crime. The first victim testified before the grand jury that they would visit Willowshell and his family in Westmoreland County around holidays. The abuse started when the victim was 5 in 1989 and lasted until 1992. Willowshell followed the victim into the bathroom and sexually assaulted the child at least 4 separate times. The last assault happened outside Willowshell's home. The second victim stated that they were sexually assaulted by Willowshell twice under the age of 10 during a summer between 1993 and 97. The assaults occurred at a campsite in Westmoreland County. The case is being prosecuted by Senior Deputy Attorney General Alicia Werner. Criminal charges and any discussion thereof are merely allegations, and all defendants are presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty. And then they have a screenshot of his photos, and it says download all photos and Willowshell's arrest. So I'm going to put the link down below to that one. And I want to thank everybody who sent me the link to this one. This was in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and I will put the link down below to this one also. It is a timeline of the grand jury investigation. And it's interesting because some ex-JWs who claim to be at the forefront of getting this investigation going, they're not even mentioned in the article. And as I know personally, it was many of the PMO elders, ex-elders, and abuse survivors themselves that got this investigation and got it to the Attorney General's office and their attention. And, just like the investigation going on now, I know that it is the abuse survivors that got this going. And so I will put the links down below, because it's interesting to read this timeline, because I think I got involved in 2018, if I remember right. And I do better behind the scenes. I'm not one that has to be in front of the camera and, oh, look at what I did. Look what I'm doing. I'm going to give a deposition and all this. No, I work better behind the scenes, getting information like elders' letters, elders' manuals, court cases, stuff like that. I do better as a historian, investigator behind the scenes. Just like I had a Zoom meeting, it was probably almost an hour long, with a documentary producer in Spain. And not that I'm tooting my own horn, but I sent him a tremendous amount of files and documents and court cases, you name it. And he had several questions. And so it was a real productive Zoom conference meeting, I think, in my humble opinion. And they are coming to this country to do some filming. I guess there's an XJW convention going on next month, I think he said, and they're going to be interviewing abuse survivors and ex-JWs and stuff like that. And of course, they wanted to interview me, and I told them I can't travel, because of my health issues. And but I did give them a tremendous amount of information. And so the reason I'm telling you this is wait for it. Hopefully it will be out soon, like Armageddon, soon, just around the corner. And so we'll have another documentary from Spain about Jehovah's Witnesses and their harmful extremist practices of like shunning and the blood transfusion and stuff like that. One more thing I want to mention, that I did hear through the grapevine that an ex-JW, she is fifth generation JW, and we knew most of the family, and she's friends with our daughter, but she told me that her JW aunt just wished her a happy birthday. Isn't that what Mike and I said in our video just the other day? What's next? Birthdays? It's just a matter of time, because many Jehovah's Witnesses feel that it doesn't have the pagan origins that it did years ago, even thousands of years ago. So look for it. I think you're going to see that, thunder. So anyway, I'm going to put the links down below. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for subscribing, liking and subscribing, and your comments. We really appreciate it, because it helps get the word out of the stuff going on. And this is news. This is news to all of us, and it just proves that. Tell me someone didn't know what was going on in the congregation back in the 80s when this pervo was harming these children. Tell me someone didn't know, and that the elders, no one called the cops. We know, because it's happened over and over and over again. And to answer another question, no, I have never had my hair permed. This mess is natural. Not that I want to downplay what these victims have gone through, but it's horrific. It's horrific what so many have gone through. And like we keep saying, all of us have some kind of abuse, on us. Whether it's, CSA, physical, psychological, spiritual. We've all had that, and we know it all comes from fear. That's how they kept all of us in control. And many of us still have nightmares We talk to ex-members all the time, nightmares. I just had a PMO ex-elder contact me, and please, sweetie, take care of yourself, and just know that there's many of us here in the community that give you love and support, because we know how difficult it is, especially if you have family that are still JWs. And that's where, the damaging part comes in, because you can't just walk away. None of us could just walk away unscathed. And that right there is a definition of a cult. And if you haven't gone and watched that, I think it was 9 or 10 doomsday cults that Mike talked about the other day, that Derek of Myth Vision podcast did, it's very good. Very good. He covers Jehovah's Witnesses quite a bit, and he mentions several others. I was a kid when Jim Jones happened, and that was horrible. It made worldwide news. And all of us thought, well, how stupid, how could you be in a cult like that? But look it happens over and over and over again. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye.